day to work hard. And that's a new D1 record for the Ospreys, 21 threes.
Welcome back to the 11th installment of Talon Talk. At the start of the show, you heard Richard Miller on the call of the 21st three-point field goal made by the men's basketball team. That was Ryan Burkhart draining the three in Monday's 115-39 win against Trinity Baptist. That set a record. There were a number of records set in that game, and it was electric, surpassing the mark of 20 three-point field goals made against NJIT and Edward Waters in recent history. But going on in other action, before we get into today's interview, UNF men's basketball is 4-1 and off to its best start over its first 5 games of the season in the program's Division I days. Women's basketball is at Alabama A&M on Wednesday, and they'll be looking at a weekend in Orlando for the ASUN MAC Challenge. UNF also picked up wins against Warner and FIU. Also going down around the department last week was volleyball and men's and women's cross country. Volleyball clinched a spot in the ASUN Championship, finishing the regular season with a 3-2 win at UNA. Taryn Griffey in that match became the first player in the program's D1 days to notch 1,000 kills and 300 blocks. Juliana Askew leads the ASUN in assists, Rocio Morrow in digs, and Solomar Sestero, the sophomore, paces the league in kills, so some big numbers individually for the Ospreys. Rocio Morrow picked up her 4th ASUN Freshman of the Week honor Monday, and we'll have all the results from all conference honors in another edition of Talon Talk. In men's and women's cross country competed at the South Regionals in Tallahassee. Nathan Drubin had another day adding to his resume as a sophomore, finished 14th in the South Regionals, setting the school record for the 10K with a time of 30:39. The men finished 7th, defeating Florida with the tiebreaker as well, so well done there. In today's talk, we'll be sitting down with senior women's tennis player Lucia Montano. Montano and the Ospreys just finished up their fall season. We'll also look at her recent ITA ranking, the completion of the fall season, new head coach leading the Ospreys, and just trying to make it 4 consecutive ASUN titles for the Bolivian and her teammates. So, Lucia, thanks again. I appreciate you being in the studio today. You're a senior now. That's crazy. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it just went by so fast. Like, I still feel like a freshman, so I don't even know what I'm gonna do after graduating. It just went by so fast.
You got a busy couple weeks with classes, and then obviously another semester of tennis and classes. So there's a lot in between now and then. How's the journey been for you?
It's been a really amazing journey, full of ups and downs, but I think it's been so worth it. I just feel like college athletics teaches me so much about my life and about myself. And throughout this 4 years, I learned so much about me, and I feel like I grew so much as a person. Mm-hmm.
So for everybody listening that don't know, Lucia is a senior now on the women's tennis team, and she's from Bolivia. So you were playing tennis growing up, I'm assuming. What was competition like in Bolivia?
I would always be like the one winning or close to winning. So I would think that here it would be the same. But here, our coach actually said it a few days ago, like in a team, it's usually the best ones from where we came from are here. So we're all in the same place. We all think the same of ourselves. So the competition here, it's like really competitive, you know? So, yeah.
That first year was probably challenging for that reason. What did you do to get through that freshman year and stand where you are now?
I would always tell myself that freshman year would be the hardest. So I just went with it, grinded through it, and waited for it to be done, basically. And then I was like, okay, sophomore year will be better. And then I came back sophomore year, and I was like telling myself it's going to be better. So I expected me to be like playing better, better physically. But in the beginning of my sophomore year, it wasn't like that. And I really struggled in the beginning of my sophomore year to like get to the level of my teammates. And I started working harder, believing more in myself, and it took me to that level.
Mm-hmm. So you came back from Bolivia as a sophomore, and you kind of had a serious turn right there. And you talked about talking to your parents and a conversation you had. Just go into that conversation and what kind of clicked at that point.
So I called my parents crying. It was probably like 2 weeks into the semester, and I was like, I want to quit. I'm done with tennis. I hate it. Why am I doing this? And I was expecting them to be like, oh, you're okay. You're good. Don't worry. But they were like, okay, do whatever you want. If you don't want to play, then don't play. You're fine. And I'm like, wow, like that clicked for, I don't know why, but I realized like at the end of the day, it's just my decision and I don't lose anything trying. So I was like, okay, I'm going to actually like work for this and try harder. And I did that. And then I started competing better and I ended up loving tennis again.
So we'll circle back to that year because obviously that was, another championship year for you and kind of a crazy tournament with all the weather and, and everything. But we were talking about senior year and your success right now after getting the ITA ranking and doing well this fall. And you talked about toughness and you thought that was the key that really clicked and allowed you to be better. And that kind of is toughness in itself sophomore year. It was about being tough.
Yeah.
Do you think that's your identity as a player and a person?
Yes. I like to be on court and be a tough competitor. I like that I can know that I can stay there more than my opponent. And I think that's a big part of my game and my identity in the court, just being tougher than the other one.
So you alluded to your mom doing some Ironmans. Any other adventurous people in your family that have ironed you out to who you are, no pun intended?
Both my parents are really, really tough people. Like they're both really hardworking. They fight for what they want. So I just have like two really good examples in my life and they help me so much.
So would you ever consider doing that after tennis is done, going into that world and marathons and Ironmans?
I actually would love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the environment more than anything. That time I went and did the Ironman. It was in Brazil. And people were just so happy. Like you would be competing, you would be swimming, running, whatever you were doing. And there will be people on the sidewalks cheering for you. Like the Ironman itself, like the people competing with you, they would all be cheering. The environment was amazing. Like kind of the environment when we play. It was so nice.
So you get a little mix of competition, but you get, the vibe of the area.
Exactly.
And
the support of everyone.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the competitor spirit, and watching you, that definitely comes out. Another thing that's had to come out is you being a leader on the team. And last year you definitely adopted part of that role. And, obviously Rafa was a big part as well. And you shouldered it with her and everybody else that allowed you to win another title. Did you think that you would end up being, viewed as that type of leader when you came here?
No. I usually like to keep a low profile. I don't like to be the one leading, but I feel like this year, like us seniors, me and Cons have to like step up obligatory,
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I want to, it's that we need someone to step up. So it was like, okay, let's do it. And we've been both having a really good fall, and I think we're assuming the role of a leader pretty well.
Going off that really good fall, what has clicked with your game?
I feel like now that I'm the oldest one, I like to feel that I can be consistent with my wins, and I like to show to my team that I can be there for them consistently, and that actually helps me become tougher on court. I like to play for my team more than anything, I think, and that's why I've been having a successful fall, because I don't do it for me, I do it for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The culture of the team is probably changed over time, and with new people, new faces. And the unique thing is, we're just talking, you were recruited by Coach Cohen and then coached for 3 years by Coach Cobra, and now you have Catherine as well. How has that been to adjust to that and to reframe? I'm playing for this coach now.
Mm-hmm. It's been wild because when I was recruited, I knew how Coach Audra was. So I was kind of expecting my life to be
that way
with her. Yeah, exactly. So I came here with Coach Cobra and it would be totally different. We would do a lot of conditioning, a lot of long drills, consistency. all that, which was, I didn't expect it.
But once you got to know her, probably not very surprising.
Yeah, exactly. and then once I got a hang with it, I started liking practices more. And then with Coach Catherine, it's more like technical, and it has more strategy in it. So practices aren't as long, but they're more specific, which like have helped me get better in like small parts of my game that actually helped me a lot to win those matches that I wouldn't have won before.
How has your view of tennis changed with each coach?
Well, with Coach Cobra, she actually taught me a lot about grinding, being more competitive, and just staying there. I remember her saying once that in college tennis, we all play the same. It's just who wants it more. And I think of that so much when I play. Like, the girl in front of me plays exactly the same as me. Like, she's not better. I can win if I want it more. And it has helped me so much to win those matches. And then Coach Catherine is really good at giving me tips on court. She's really observant of the opponent. So she tells me like a specific thing of what to do. And that has helped me win a lot too.
Mm-hmm. So you're always kind of looking to learn when you're around coaches, and for yourself. Is there anybody as a tennis player that you've played with, or a professional one that you kind of see yourself as? Or do you embody the mentality of somebody that you know?
I love Rafael Nadal's mentality. I love watching him play. I saw him play at the US Open at the semifinals this year, and he's so amazing. Like, I love his presence on court. I love his attitude, how he fights for every point. He's
lives for it.
Incredible. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, I admire him so much. Such a good tennis player.
So, talking about your personality on, seeing Rafa play, do you think that you embody that on the court, or how do you feel? Because you're soft spoken, but also you care intensely about playing. Yeah.
I try to. So Rafa is very physical, and I like to be physical when I play too. He's very energetic and active, and I try to do that sometimes. Like, before returning, for example, I jump a lot. Mm-hmm. I do like
little
bunny hops.
Yeah.
And actually, my teammates laugh so much at me.
You're trying to get more on it,
Yeah, like they laugh so much at me because I get really intense on court sometimes, but I feel like it works for me, and I feel like it's a good body language to transmit to everyone. Like, people are like, wow, look at this crazy person. What is she doing?
Everybody's got their nuances, right? I mean, some people, the grunts and, whatever. I mean, Rafa's got his own routine with, touching his hair and his nose and his shorts and everything too.
Yes.
But that's part of the uniqueness of it.
Yeah.
So you just finished the fall, and, for most sports, it's one semester, it's one season. And you're playing a lot of matches. I mean, you're playing tournaments, you're on weekends. A lot of people don't realize that exists in fall in college tennis, is that you've got the fall and the spring. Explain that to the person that's just used to like a football season or something.
Yeah, so basically the fall, we play around 4 or 5 tournaments, and it's mostly to get matches in, to get back into the routine of playing matches, to play against good opponents, because we have regionals in the fall season, and it's a really good tournament. You get the chance to see good players and play against them, and I think it's a good way for you to like see where you're at and where you can get better at for the spring. Like, it's mostly like, I remember my first fall tournament this fall, I didn't play well at all, but I got the chance to see what I was missing in my game to play better. So it's just a good way of identifying what you need for the spring. It's more like a preparation. And then the spring is the actual season where we play like every weekend. We play 2 matches every weekend. And then we have the conference tournament at the end of the spring. And then if we win the conference tournament, we get to play the NCAA first round. which is our goal right now to get there.
And you got used to playing that.
Yeah.
As well.
It will be amazing. Be there one more time.
That's a special accomplishment. I mean, you can't win more than 4, unless you're going on to play another sport with your eligibility. Yeah. Do you practice a lot in the summer? What do you focus on in the summer? Do you give your body a break?
I give my body a break. Usually I stop playing tennis for like a month because the season is so long that my mind just needs to relax and forget about tennis for a little, but I never stop working out. I usually do a lot of CrossFit in the summer, and it has helped me a lot get fitter.
So you're in the CrossFit gang world?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I like every type of exercise. I also started doing calisthenia. Do you know what that is?
All right, calisthenics, are you saying? Or just
Probably.
like kind of body weight stuff?
Yeah, body weight stuff. I did that a few times.
That's big on the internet and YouTube and all those people doing those things. I wish I could do some of that stuff.
It's fun. It's fun. So I like to stay active during the summer, and then I start playing probably like 8 weeks before coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe half of the summer.
What's the hardest part of your body to maintain as a tennis player? I mean, obviously a lot of people get the wrist, back, lower back, I'm guessing shoulders.
You mean like physically?
Yeah, physically, what's the hardest to maintain?
Usually I get hurt the most in my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I've had it my whole life, and I think it's just my body is not
for whatever reason, you get the shoulder. I mean, humans aren't really made for the overhead.
I've had shoulder problems since I was 14, so basically I just learned how to live with it. But there are ways to treat it, of course, so I do my best to treat it, and if it starts hurting, like I start taking my medicine or doing more treatment. Mm-hmm.
How do you tennis is a demanding sport physically, and a lot of people don't understand just how much you move in a match. How do you maintain your condition during like the spring season?
We keep doing conditioning during the spring. I don't know how it's going to be with Coach Catherine, but we used to do conditioning like 2 times per week, and it would be more mobility on court. It wouldn't be as tough as in the fall, as we wouldn't do as much running. It would be more footwork.
Okay.
And it has helped me. And also, the more I play matches, I feel like the more used to playing tennis my mobility gets better if I play more matches.
You're probably able to handle the stress more as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Once you get into March.
And we also have like our routines. Maybe before a match, we go and stretch in the weight room or something like that to keep our body healthy.
Mm-hmm. You guys are one of the like shining beacons for the athletic department and really representing us in 5 titles in a row. What's the culture of the team been like since you've been here? Is it like expect to win?
No. We don't expect to win, and I think that's why we win, because we always keep fighting for it. I don't like to have expectations myself, because I feel like it just adds more pressure to me. So I just try to like compete my best in the moment, and then the results will come. Of course, I have my goals, but personally, to me, it works that I don't think of it too much or put much pressure. Just keep doing it and keep playing.
Why has UNF been able to be so special in tennis? I mean, and the men have had their success as well.
I feel it's because we've been doing the right things. We've been practicing well. We've been competing well, and we've been able to come together in the most important moments. And I think that's like what really makes a difference. These past 3 years, like we've got the opportunity to be more united by the end of the season, so it just reflects in the matches.
Describe, UNF as a school, and then in the location that it's in. How has it grown on you during your time? I
love UNF. I really love being here. I like the location, the weather, of course, it's amazing. UNF is also close to my house. Like, it's easy to get from Jacksonville to Bolivia, so that's also one of the reasons I like being here.
I was gonna go there next. Yeah,
it's easy. Like, I'm just 2 flights away. Plus There are a lot of Latin speakers here, Spanish speakers, so I feel more at home. And I've always been welcomed here by everyone, so it's just like my second home.
And I mean, the tennis program here has been very international,
Yeah.
you know, historically. So I mean, that bodes well for you. Was it an adjustment period getting here and being here?
Yes, I took my time adjusting actually. I'm very shy in the beginning. I'm usually very shy when I meet people, so I don't talk much in the beginning. But once I started getting used to being here, how my teammates treated me my freshman year, it was very special. They would always be very open to me. So I lost my shyness and started like getting closer to my team and other teams.
How was your family viewing you coming to the United States to play? Was it a big deal for them?
Yeah, because I'm the first athlete in my family, so they're so proud of me. In my family, my parents went outside of Bolivia to school. They went to school outside of Bolivia too, but weren't athletes, so
They
it's
in
such a
Central
big
America
deal.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so it's such a big deal for them for me to be here, like playing the sport I love while studying. Yeah, they love it.
When did that first become a reality for you? How old were you?
I probably was like 15, 16 years old
Mhm.
because it started to become popular for people from Bolivia to go to the US to study and play tennis. So I started looking at my options and I saw that this could be a potential option. And I just started working for it, and eventually I got it and I came here.
Were you hoping maybe Florida, maybe somewhere in the south, closer to Bolivia?
I always liked Florida, always. So Florida was one of my number one option, and yeah, like basically I just looked into Florida schools
Mm-hmm.
before coming here. Yeah.
Was it hard to really break into tennis and get the kind of publicity that you needed in Bolivia? Because following the professional tour, at least,
Mhm.
it's not like you're seeing a lot of Bolivians playing.
Yeah. So there's like a junior ranking. So coaches
Mhm.
can look at your ranking and see your wins and your losses. And also I went to a showcase in Miami, and that's where Audra saw me play,
Mhm.
and that's where she offered me the scholarship.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you have any hesitation initially?
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I wanted to explore my options.
Yeah.
And then I had a few other options, but Audra was like the most consistent one. She showed a lot of interest on me. So I was like, yeah, like I like her. I want to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then obviously Coach Cobra was your coach as a freshman.
Yeah.
And you played under her, and you got adjusted to that. What was the coaching change like at that point for you? How was that to handle, and how different is it from this one?
So I struggled the most probably with the conditioning. But after that, like practices were long, were intense, but they weren't anything like out of the world. So it was like hard to adapt, but not that hard. And then with Coach Catherine, the practices are very different day to day. So I don't get bored. Like there's something new to learn every
Mhm.
day. So I enjoy it a lot too.
What are you really trying to focus in on right now? Obviously, you're trying to probably rest and do your studies in preparation for January. But what do you want to master this spring semester? And maybe just your mental game again. You know.
I just want to have fun on court, to be honest. Like, I don't like to think that much on bigger things. I like to go day by day and just play my best and give my best, compete, and have fun. And that's been working for me. I really enjoy playing and playing with my team next to me. It's even more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love the spring. There's so much energy.
What do you guys have to do to have a good season?
I think we all have a really good level of tennis. It's just competing at that great level and believing in ourselves, trusting our practices, trusting that we are getting better, and just enjoying. Yeah.
So enjoy December as much as you can. Enjoy, obviously get through the exams and the tests, but enjoy December. I know it's a little bit of a lull for a tennis player in college. And then good luck this spring. I know we'll all be following closely, see how you guys do and how you do.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Lucia, for being on. Listen next week as we'll have another feature interview on Talon Talk. And going ahead this week, men's basketball, women's basketball, swimming, and volleyball will all be on the road. The Ospreys go to Iowa tonight and head to Omaha to play Creighton Sunday, so a couple of big road contests there. Women's basketball, as mentioned, will play Marist and Ryder in Orlando, and swimming goes to the Liberty Invite in Lynchburg, a 3-day competition. Volleyball plays in the quarterfinals of the ASUN Championship tonight against number 3 Liberty. First serve is set for 7:30 p.m. Thanks again for listening this week. We'll have a week hiatus with it being Thanksgiving, and then we'll get back into action as we near the end of the fall semester.